Whoa, get off your phone. We got a show to do, bro.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, hey, guys. Welcome to the next part-time pod where the wages minimum and the sports takes are maximum. My name's Salah Panero.
I'm Will Nicholson.
I hope you enjoyed our little bit that we did at the start. We don't really normally do bits around here, but, Will, I thought it was like a nice little...
I think it was a good addition,
like
yeah.
a creative on-the-spot type
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
that we could have done. So, Will, it's obviously one of the most wonderful times of the year.
It is.
It's
some of the
playoff
best
time
of the
for
year.
two of everyone's favorite sports. One of them we like more than the other. I don't know if you could tell.
Yeah, clearly.
So we have all of these jerseys for all the teams that are in the playoffs. So there's Will's side.
Yep.
You can see that. Here's my side. And then if you come back to 2, there's some more behind us. But we have a little game for our viewers today. There is one team missing from behind us that's in the playoffs. If you can say that and guess it in the comments, we'll shout you out next
you a
episode.
shout-out.
Shout out your Instagram, whatever you want.
Yeah, and I mean that.
Just make
what
sure
an
you
honor
just
it
make sure
is.
you leave it there. Yes.
Yeah, what an honor it would be to get
Uh-huh.
shouted out by the best podcast on the South Shore.
Everyone in the town of Marshfield would know you.
That's true.
Literally
Yes.
everybody.
that is
Plus-
not opinion. That
Plus,
is
like our
fact.
50 viewers.
That's true.
Yeah.
Last podcast did good.
It
from,
did very good.
from Ian, which is
Shout
great.
out to Ian.
Yeah.
Ian, he was on a legendary Twitter run yesterday, talking about the Lakers, talking about the Sixers.
yeah, he was.
Unfortunately, talking about the Bruins too.
Yeah.
That hurt.
That was
But
tough.
I was unfortunately not able to watch the Bruins because I guess fortunately because they lost.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to
true.
watch though because I was busy doing work things, town meeting.
Yeah. Town meeting, the classic
Yep.
MCM.
We got part
grind.
2 tonight, and well, another crazy thing that people aren't gonna know. This week is starting something new.
What would that be?
2 podcasts.
Oh,
in 1 week.
Yeah.
So we're filming this on Tuesday, and we're gonna release it on Tuesday also.
Yep.
So I hope you guys are ready for more content from us.
Mm-hmm.
Quick disclaimer before we get into everything: we were gonna plan on having a guest today, but we're on a real time crunch, so we weren't gonna be
Sure.
able to make it work
Sure.
out because this legend right here is gonna be filming baseball for us.
That's true.
Shout out to Will, and hopefully I'll see him at town meeting later. But if not, he can just come hang with the
Maybe
squad.
I'll just come show up at town
You
meeting.
are a citizen.
That's true.
you
I could
are
be
a
there.
citizen.
I do pay taxes.
Yes, he does, ladies and gentlemen. Will Nicholson, employed man, and
And if the IRS is watching,
employed man, resident of Marshfield, he does community service.
of course.
Yes, everyone loves a little bit of community
Gotta
service.
love it.
All right, well, let's we got to stop.
We got NBA playoffs.
We have so much NBA playoffs to get to. It's insane. All right, so Saturday, everything kicks off. We had 4 games. I know one of the first
Kicked
games.
off Cavs. and
Cavs
the
Magic, great
Yep.
series. Well, Cavs currently up 2-0.
Yup.
Jalen Suggs goes down yesterday, but
It's not looking great.
after the game, we got reports that he will be playing in game. That he is likely to be playing in Game 3. So, Will, I believe I had Cavs in 7 as my pick before. I don't remember what you had, but after seeing these 2 games, Cleveland's got a 2-0 lead. How are we feeling about the Magic, and what do you think they need to do to bounce back in the series?
Yeah, I was in a similar boat with you. I thought it was going to be Cavs in the long haul, but now that, again, Suggs goes down, Donovan Mitchell has looked insane. The Magic kind of look out of it. I think the Magic will probably get a game at home, but I feel like it's Cleveland now. I probably would have said Cleveland in 6 or 7 like you did. Now I'm feeling like it's Cleveland in 5, maybe 6. I feel like they're going to get it done earlier than I thought they would.
I agree with you. So, obviously, Spida has finally come into his own.
Yeah.
How far do you think the Cavs need to go? Not because obviously everyone wants to go to the finals and win.
Yeah.
How far do they need to go to get him to stay in the to get him to sign that extension instead of trading him?
I think they need to get to at least the conference finals. I mean, this team is built to be able to deal with these teams out in the East. And the East is very, very weak right now. Like we said, the Celtics had a
18 game advantage at one point.
Exactly. From the 1 seed to the 2 seed, which is insane. And the Cavs, again, they were sitting at that 2 seed for a little bit. They fell down to 4 later in the year. But I think that this team is very well put together. I think they have the pieces there. And, I mean, like we saw in these first 2 games, yes, it was Donovan Mitchell, but it wasn't only Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland's looking good. Jarrett Allen's doing his thing on the defensive end. Max Strus is knocking down
Then
threes.
we got Mobley, obviously, who was
Yes.
my defensive player of the year pick before the year. Dealt with some injuries, unfortunately, but shot blocking machine can guard the perimeter. I'd say he can guard 2 through 5. I don't think he can keep up with the point guards.
No.
But I feel like if you put
Only
him,
certain 2s as well.
Yeah, if you put him on like a stationary 2, like Klay Thompson, something like that, I feel like he can keep up.
Yeah, no, he'll
So
be good in that.
That was game 1, and then on Saturday, my favorite game on Saturday was Minnesota versus Phoenix.
That was a really
Because
good game.
I really loved watching Ant take over in that third quarter.
Yeah,
So, do you think Anthony Edwards is now here and
I
like
think so.
Ant has like solidified himself as a superstar in the league?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just get right into it. I mean, yeah, he is. He is here. Anthony Edwards is here. This felt very much like a passing of the torch type of game, and that's what this series is kind of like. Because KD, even though he's gotten older, it's always been like, oh, you get to the playoffs, you have KD, you have a chance. Whether that was in Brooklyn a couple of years ago, where he was a couple of inches away.
He was a shoe size away from
Exactly.
Going to the conference finals,
which is
and
insane.
they probably end up winning it that year too.
I agree. No, I'm with you there. So that's how good KD is. He can get you. You know, if he's on the floor, he can take you to the promised land no matter what. But now we see Anthony Edwards comes in and he's just talking all this smack. He's ready to, kind of be in this moment. And even in the mic'd up, you have Mike Conley, who is like, oh man, like Ant's here to play. Like he's not messing around. He is here. And I agree with him. I think Anthony Edwards is kind of passing the torch and becoming that next NBA superstar.
So now I'll ask the same question I asked about Orlando with Phoenix. What do you think? Like, I gotta get closer to the mic because I've had an issue of like not being able to hear. What do you think Phoenix needs to do if they can do anything to adjust to Minnesota? Because Minnesota, in my opinion, I think they're the best defensive team in the playoffs.
Yeah,
a lot of people could say it's like the Celtics or the Clippers, but I think when you have Rudy Gobert holding it down, you got Jaden McDaniels, you even got Cat. I think his defense is a little slept on. It's obviously not great, but I think his defense is okay enough.
And they may have KD, but we have Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah, who can guard KD? You know how I'll be. So,
it's a great
what
quote.
should Phoenix be doing, like, to adjust everything? Like anything Coach Vogel could cook up, or do you think it's just like go out there and just make sure you hit more shots than they do?
It's gonna be tough. I mean, obviously Phoenix has a lot of talent on their team. They got that three-headed monster of Beal and Booker and Durant. So that they're probably gonna have to step up more than they already are. It can't just be KD scoring the ball. Booker's gonna have to go massive. We're gonna have to see more out of Bradley Beal. But other than that, I think the Timberwolves are just deeper than the Suns, and that was one of the biggest things and one of the biggest problems I had going into the year with the Bradley Beal trade is that they gave up a lot to go and get him. Even like moving on from Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, I didn't think was a good move to begin with. And then you cut your bench even more to go and get Bradley Beal.
Who else did they give up for Beal? They gave up CP3.
CP3, yeah.
And
Campaign's still there, right? So it wasn't Campaign.
No, Campaign's gone.
Oh, Campaign's gone. Okay.
Yeah. Campaign, he's in Philly because he was in the Pat Bev trade at the deadline.
No, you're right.
So, with like obviously Minnesota, do you think they could like challenge a team like Denver or a team like OKC to take the Western Conference?
I actually think they could. I think the West is way more competitive than the East is right now. Because the East kind of feels like it's kind of set in place, at least for the first round. I feel like
it's just like two or three teams in the East.
Yeah.
Because think about this from the West perspective. So OKC is the 1 seed, so they're away from almost everybody that's a threat. Then you got Denver at 2, and then you got Minnesota at 3.
Yep.
Last year, Denver sent Minnesota home in like 4 or 5 games, something like that. Would it be a surprise if they match up together? Because obviously anything can happen in the playoffs. If they match up, to see Minnesota take them down in a revenge sort of way, like we saw the Celtics do in Game 1 versus Miami.
I think it's possible. I really think it's possible. This Minnesota team is way better than I expected them to be. The one worry that I have is Rudy Gobert getting exposed like he always has in the playoffs by bringing him out onto the perimeter. Right now it's fine because they have Karl Anthony Towns who can extend out to the perimeter and guard out there when he has to. He's not great at it, but he's better at it than Gobert is. But it's tough. That's the one concern I have. But again, when you have a flexible guard like Anthony Edwards, who's really going out there, he's doing everything. He's playing defense. Minnesota's doing a lot of switch everything right now with that lineup.
And you got Jaden McDaniels.
Exactly. I was going to say,
Jaden McDaniels.
With as funny as that quote is that we have Jaden McDaniels, he's a big part of this team's flexibility, being able to switch onto a guard if Ant and him needs to switch and they go back and forth, and Ant can pretty much guard, anywhere except a center, I would feel like right now, and maybe some fours.
I think it's crazy because not the 4 best teams, because OKC was up there too, but I think because I wouldn't really consider I wouldn't consider like Jalen Williams a role player. Yeah. But I'd say out of like four of the top 5 teams seeding wise, they have like the best role players in the league. Like
Who,
if you look at Boston,
Yeah.
D. White, Horford, Tillman,
Yeah.
Pritchard, Hauser. Let's take a look at New York. DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Hartenstein.
Yep.
What's his name? Miles McBride. Wait, is it? It's Miles McBride,
I
right?
think so.
Yep.
Yeah. You're right.
You go
You
over.
said DiVincenzo too, right?
Yeah, I said DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo's a
You go
beast.
over to Minnesota. You got Mike Conley. You got Jay
Jade
McDaniels.
McDaniels.
You got Nikhil Alexander Walker.
Yep.
You got Slow-Mo. Then you go to Denver. You got MPJ, Aaron Gordon,
Yep.
KCP, Christian Brown. Like
You've
all
got
of these
pieces,
top-seeded
yeah.
teams, not only do they have the superstars to match it, like the Jokic's, the Murrays, the Tatums,
They got deep benches.
all that. They have great benches.
And that's
all-
not- Phoenix
not
doesn't
even
have that.
not even benches either. Role players.
Yeah.
Because I've been saying this since the start of the year. The one thing that the Phoenix Suns are missing in this whole playoff run and like their whole season is a point guard.
Yeah.
Because you can't have Devin Booker and Bradley Beal and KD all fighting to see who takes the ball up 1st.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even have to be like a standout point guard either. If you got a guy like Tyus Jones to run that offense, Tyus Jones can set these guys up.
What's your answer? Like Grayson Allen, which is what it's been.
Solid role player, but Grayson Allen's not even a point guard.
I know.
Grayson
yeah.
Allen,
But they've been
actually-
having him kind of play that role. I feel.
he
like.
actually led the league in 3-point percentage this year. So
Grayson
shout
Allen?
out Grayson Allen.
All right, we mess with that.
It's just
But
I hope his ankles feel good from when Jalen dropped him a couple years ago.
I know. No, but I that's like the one thing I agree with you. They need a guard. But another big thing I feel like the Suns are missing is they're kind of missing a grit and grind type of guy. Like they're missing someone who's gonna do the dirty work. I don't think Grayson Allen is really that
I
right
feel
now
like
for them.
he does the dirty work, but not the dirty work. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
Like,
yeah.
he goes out there and he like throws some cheap shots.
yeah.
But I feel like their closest guy to doing that is Nurkic. But I
Yeah.
still feel like Nurkic is like, because like we saw the dude get punched in the face by Draymond Green earlier in the year. And he didn't even retaliate. He was just like, oh, God, got me.
I wouldn't say Nurkic's there, but think of all the really good teams. You know, you have guys like Jaden McDaniels willing to do anything. On the Celtics, you have Derek White. I mean, the Celtics have a million of them. I feel like guys who will do anything
Yeah, but
for the team.
some of the guys on the Celtics I wouldn't put in the same category. Like I say, D White's in like his own category.
Yeah, I'd say
Him,
so.
because obviously with the Celtics, you had like the staple player of that for like 10 years,
Yep.
and now that he's obviously gone, Marcus Smart. But you got Derek White who can do everything you ask him. Tillman's
Tillman's one of those guys.
Tillman can play against Charlotte or he can play against like Denver and have the same exact stat line.
Yeah,
Because Tillman knows what to do.
Mr. Consistency. I
He
love
knows
it.
he knows what to do. Doesn't need to do a lot, but Mini Al Horford.
Yeah,
Mini Al Horford.
Mini
that's it.
Al Horford.
Let's see who else we got. You got Josh Hart.
Yeah.
Josh Hart might be the perfect example of that right now.
Yeah,
Especially when like Brunson, he's been like iffy lately. Josh
Yeah.
Hart's been grabbing like 10 plus boards a game, dropping 15 plus points.
and the clutch plays too.
Yeah.
He has been so clutch in this series so far. I mean, the Sixers have fumbled both of these games. I feel like.
So that's actually the next series we got to talk about
Yep.
is Knicks Sixers. Both games were, neck and neck,
They're
but
close.
we saw the Knicks were starting to run away with it in game one, right?
Mhm.
I want to talk about game two last night. What happened to Philly? Philly was
Tough
up.
stuff.
Philly was up by 5 with I think 40 seconds left to go,
Yep.
and they came out and lost. Now there's a lot of speculation you can say that Nick Nurse called 2 separate timeouts in that
I
whole
had
little
seen
rally,
that. Yeah.
and the ref just didn't give it to him. And there's like an investigation going on about that. But
Yep.
do you think it should have even had to come down to that, or did Philly just like completely blow it?
Yeah, it shouldn't even have come down to that. Obviously, if Nick Nurse is trying to call a timeout, then yeah, I mean, that's a problem. But even if then, you still need to inbound the ball, and then they're going to foul at that point.
And
like they,
Speaking of that, Tyrese Maxey got obliterated. Like,
yeah, oh
and
yeah,
Maxey was having his flu game last night too.
Yeah.
Like he was questionable to play because of an illness.
yep.
Came out, drops like 30.
He was balling. Maxey was hooping. But it's it's tough to be like, okay, should he have gotten the timeout if he was calling it? Yes, 100% he should have gotten the timeout. But still, you need to inbound the ball, and even then, they still had a chance to go out and tie the game. Obviously, is it a big point? He didn't get the timeout. Yes, but it should, I agree with you. It shouldn't have gotten to that point at all. I mean, the Philly was in control of this game, and then they blew it. And obviously, they get the steal on the inbound, and I think it was DiVincenzo knocks down a 3.
There is actually one thing I want to show you from this game. It's something that's gonna like make us all excited, obviously, because it's just one of those calls we love to hear. I gotta pull it up real quick. Hopefully my internet works.
I know
but
exactly
who-
what this
what
is. What
is it? What is it?
Is this the double bang?
It is the double bang. One of the best calls in all sports is Mike
Bang.
Breen going double bang. So let me just find it real quick.
We do love Mike Breen. Mike Breen, one of the greats to.
Yes,
To do it as
100%.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, if
Mike
you're hitting
Breen-
a double, if you,
I have a question for you.
yeah.
Which one is worse for you to hear? Like, how like have you experienced as a fan?
Okay.
Mike Breen hitting a double bang against your team, or Kevin Harlan going good against the team?
Ooh.
Because I feel like both of those suck.
Yeah, I think the Mike Green bang against your team.
If you get the double bang,
that
that
cuts deep.
yeah, you know it's like game over at
That
that
cuts
point.
deep. You know what I feel like is underratedly terrible too? Mark Jackson going, "Mama, there goes that man." When someone absolutely cooks your team,
Yep.
that
Or
is up there.
This one's obviously a biased pick, but got it by Mike,
Yeah,
by,
Gorman.
Mike Gorman.
Yeah,
That one, I'm gonna miss hearing that.
that's true.
Got
All
it.
time, got it.
I accidentally scrolled out of NBA Central's Twitter, but we'll be back soon enough.
Yeah.
So
The double bang is iconic. I think the Knicks got one last year too with a Julius Randle step back for the win.
yes, they did.
So
And
it's
the
a
Celtics
classic.
actually have one.
Yeah.
Last season, I think, on opening night when they played the Knicks.
Oh.
Marcus Smart hits the buzzer beater to go to OT.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, you know what happened next.
Yeah.
Bang Bang by Mike Breen. So I probably scrolled past it. So good job, me.
It's all good if you can't find it. It happens.
It's just such a great call. You know what?
Yeah.
We'll ignore it. It's
We'll
okay.
ignore it. It's all good.
Everyone knows what it sounds like.
Everyone, yeah. I mean, if you don't know, go look it up.
But
at
that
this
whole
point.
sequence that led to it was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So DiVincenzo gets a one look from the wing, misses. Hartenstein, like, towers over Embiid. Doesn't even tower him. He fights. Like, he grinds to get that board.
Mm-hmm.
Back to DiVincenzo, top of the key. Knicks by one.
Insane.
Dude, you think the theories are going to become true that Mikal Bridges is going to end up a New York Knicks soon?
I mean, maybe.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's all there. You got to get the college boys back together.
Yeah.
Because I think that's like the new
What
medicine.
the Kentucky guys get them back together? Or no, where did
Nova.
Mikal play? Nova. Oh yeah, with
They
DiVincenzo.
won the
that's
national
right.
championship with Nova.
Yeah.
But the one dude that hit this game winner ain't even in the league anymore. Shout out Chris Jenkins, a
Yeah.
name that will never be forgotten
No.
in the history of sports.
Gives it to Jenkins.
So there was another series after that on Saturday, but I want to save that one for the end.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday starts. We had Celtics Heat.
Yep.
Celtics stood on business.
Dominated.
Just, they obviously knew what they wanted. They knew what these guys did to them last year. Took no prisoners. Just took care of them. 20-point win. Almost fell apart towards the end, but they got it right back. I think they just got bored,
Yeah.
honestly.
The one thing I'll say with the Celtics is that there was questions about why Missoula was keeping the guys in. And I think Richard Jefferson made a really good point on the broadcast saying that you want these guys in playoff shape. You want them being used to playing
Yep.
these heavy minutes right now. And that's what the first round's about. And then I was hearing it from people around me like, oh, but what if someone gets hurt? You don't want someone getting hurt right now. And then obviously,
Caleb Martin.
yeah, that cheap shot comes in. Thank God Tatum's okay.
So, I saw. Did you listen to Scal's theory about this?
I don't think
So
so.
Spoelstra calls timeout, and then literally right after it is when Martin does that.
Yeah.
That to me I didn't notice that when I was watching the game, but that sounded very suspicious.
Yeah.
And we saw Jaylen Brown get right up in
Yeah, he was pissed.
Caleb Martin's face.
Yeah.
But my cousin says Jaylen didn't do anything. If you watch it back, there were some words exchanged between the two of them.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin thought he was tough, but got 3 more games to play. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. And I think that what you were saying when we were talking about last night too, the Drew Holiday stuff about being like, hey, 15 more. You know, that's how we're looking at this.
it's
We need
one game.
15 more games. It's one game. You know, we can't get too high and can't get too low. And I think that's what the championship DNA really is for the Celtics. Who, I mean, as impressive as a game one as you can have, just blowing out a team who has kind of been the boogeyman for you the past couple of years. I'm all for playing the guys down the stretch, by the way. I think that these guys need to get used to playing really hard minutes.
What
in the
would be
stretch.
like your point cap to take them out?
Ooh.
Like how much would you have to be up by to take them out of the game? I'm saying like 26, 27.
Yeah, it's up there. I mean, they were up by 31 point, and Joe kept like most of them in. But
The only guy I wouldn't want to keep in at that time is KP,
yeah,
just because of how injury prone he's been in the past. Now,
Yeah.
he stayed relatively healthy this year. Didn't play every game, obviously, because he had like he got hit a couple times in wrong spots, but it wasn't anything serious.
Yep.
So I wouldn't want to keep him out there because he's probably the most likely. And then after that, it'd be Tatum, and then Brown, then
yeah.
Holiday and White interchangeable.
I feel like Tatum and Brown are pretty durable too. Like I feel like
Yeah.
they're used to playing a lot of minutes, and they're young, so I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
But Celtics, I mean, what more can we say? They absolutely dominated the Heat, and Wednesday 7:00 cannot come
Yeah.
soon enough.
I think the Celtics had to send the Heat a message that game, like,
Yeah,
you know,
especially with no Jimmy.
you know what you did. We don't care that your best player isn't here. We're still gonna play the game.
Yeah, again, got to take everyone seriously.
Yep.
Got to take everyone seriously. And then later Sunday, I believe. I mean, we
So
had Sunday.
It went
night.
east west.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
The only one
So-
that I really remember is that Lakers one too.
No,
that Lakers
before.
game too.
Yeah, but we'll save
True,
that.
true.
So after that was Clippers, Mavericks, which the Mavericks completely fell apart.
Yeah,
with
they
no
did.
with no Kawhi on LA's side though.
I still think that Mavs take it, but
Is-
I mean that's a really tough game.
My big
one.
question is playoff Harden a thing?
No, no.
Because Harden was out there cooking these guys like, it was 2018. You know what I
I've
mean?
seen Harden fumble in the playoffs enough that I'm just like
I mean,
whatever.
All I gotta say is that should tell you about Harden.
Yeah.
Choking right there.
That's true. No, he has fumbled the bag a
What
few
about
times.
playoff PG? Because PG had himself a game without
Yeah.
the Clippers' best
Yeah.
player in the game.
I think PG gets a lot of flack. I think that PG is really good. People are like, oh, like way off P, playoff P in the playoffs, whatever. He has his moments where he hasn't played good, but I feel like as he's gotten older and kind of taken a second fiddle, whether it be to like Westbrook or in this case Kawhi, he's gotten better in the playoffs. And you showed last night, PG is still that guy, even though PG's aging a little bit. He still can have great games like he did versus the Mavs in Game 1. And they're gonna need him again. They're gonna need him if they want to, keep that momentum going. Because Luka's gonna come out guns blazing next game. I'm sure
So
of it.
do you think that the series is gonna like for the Mavs is like another guy gonna have to step up, or is it gonna have to be Luka and Kyrie to win it for him?
I think it's gonna have to be Luka and Kyrie, and also PJ Washington did a really good job early knocking down threes. And I think he needs to keep up that momentum. We need to see more of that because they were sending a lot of double teams early at Luka. So
Yeah.
we're gonna need to see.
And you need guys like Timmy J.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really hard for either of these teams to kind of gain momentum because I feel like both these teams are really good. I feel like it's going to be a heavyweight boxing match. Just to throw in heavy blows back and forth. I think the series is going 7, honestly. I'm very excited to see how it's going to turn out.
then after that, you had the number one scoring team in the NBA, the Indiana
Mhm.
Pacers, just get absolutely shelled by a Giannis-less Bucks. We had
Yeah.
2 different injuries, and it didn't seem to affect either of the teams.
Honestly, I didn't even really watch this game, if I'm going to be honest with you.
I just heard it in the background.
I had stuff going on, and then
Yeah.
I checked the score, and Indiana was down by like 20. I was like, whoa. That is surprising for a team, like
But-
you said, has been
so
great
Dame Lillard-
offensively.
We saw Dame 35 in the first half,
Yeah,
goose egg second half.
yeah.
So obviously, yes, Dame. Oh my God, Damian Lillard is here to play. He's saying, "This is what you guys brought me here for." Second half, where'd you go? Yeah, you won the game, but like, dude,
What'd you do after?
put the ball in the hoop still. Like,
yeah.
go get 60 if you want to. You know what I mean? So obviously, great win for Milwaukee without their superstar Giannis, who's probably going to be out for like another game or 2.
Yeah.
So Indy, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, and he needs to bounce back because the Bucks are not a team that you can play around with and give them a couple of games. Because we saw in that championship year when Giannis gets momentum, he can go down 0-2. But if they get a game like that where Giannis plays out of his mind, then it's over. It's wraps.
There's
Then
something
they're
I
a
want
tough
to say
team.
about that. So when the Bucks won that Game 6 back in Milwaukee, I think personally that game by Giannis was the best individual finals performance I have ever seen in my entire life. Or like honestly,
it's up
it could
there.
be like top tier in NBA history.
Yeah.
In a game to seal it, Giannis drops 50. Like, think about how crazy that is. Like, we didn't even recognize it for how wild it was because
Yeah.
we were all just overshined by him winning.
Yeah.
50 points
It is crazy.
to seal a championship
I
for your
think
team.
Bron's 50 in Game 1 of 2018, I think, was huge too, where J.R. Smith sold the game. But
Yeah.
I think that was a crazy one too for greatest playoff or greatest final performances. I'll
Because
say.
if you look at some of these like all-time finals performances, you have the entire Cavs team in Game 7.
Yeah.
Giannis putting up the 50-piece. Rounds 3, but that was just one play.
Yeah.
Like Giannis Antetokounmpo to win the finals, 50. And then another great one was 08 Celtics.
Yeah.
Just absolutely, not even to like be biased, they just manhandled the Lakers that year.
Yeah. No,
Just
they did.
absolutely like smoked them out of the doors. All right, so the second to last series we had, they're actually right here next to each other.
Oh, look at that.
OKC and Minnesota.
Yeah.
So Minnesota came to play.
Yeah.
Definitely came to play. They're like, you may be the 1 seed, but
Maybe OKC New Orleans,
yeah. What did I say?
Minnesota. I was like,
Oh,
wait a minute.
Oops. Sorry. It's gonna be a
Yeah.
long day for me. So
Yeah.
yep, we had OKC, New Orleans, and New Orleans came out to show that they're here to play. They're not messing around. Like, yeah, OKC is in 1 seed, but we're more experienced than you. And yes, OKC won, but New Orleans, without their best player, 2-point game.
Yeah. It's tough. Do we know when BI is gonna be back or
BI's playing.
he is?
He's out.
Oh, Zion's out. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. I thought Zion played. That's tough. Yeah, I know when Zion comes back, it's gonna be tough. But is he gonna be back?
Zion would be back next round, I think.
Okay,
he has like a reevaluation coming, but
Yeah.
I'm not
Honestly,
100% certain.
This is gonna be my hot take. I'm gonna put a bow around this one. This is gonna be OKC in 4. I think.
Really?
I think OKC is really good. I
Yeah.
think that's the worst that they're gonna play in this series. I think, and they still won it. Give me
Wow.
OKC in 4.
I think the end of that game showed why that man right there is MVP.
SGA.
Like, yes, Nikola Jokic had obviously just another great season because
Yeah.
he's a first ballot Hall of Famer now.
he's a go.
I think if you look at it, yeah, Denver would not be nearly as good without Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
but OKC would not be anywhere. They'd be barely a play-in team
Yeah.
without SGA.
Yep.
Because SGA is just that dude. Like, plain and simple, he's that dude. He can go out and get you 30 any night.
He's a beast.
Led his team to the 1 seed when, like, their average age of a starter is, like, 22 or something like that.
This wasn't the year that OKC was supposed to be good.
Nope.
Which is insane. It was supposed to be like next 2 years, and
But nope, they're here.
they got that. Oh my god, they're gonna be so good for the next couple of years with those
Yep.
draft picks.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's going to be a scary sight in
It is gonna be
OKC.
tough. No, but give me OKC in 4.
Yep. And
Honestly.
the last series, I just wanted to do this one last because we had some spice last night. Lakers, Denver. We obviously saw how the game went last night. Lakers up by 20 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Blow it. Tie game. LeBron gets a 3 for the lead. Misses. No timeout by Michael Malone. Jamal Murray comes down. He's the closer. Jokic brought him back. Jamal Murray finished the job.
Yeah.
Gets AD with a step back. Just absolute beauty right over him.
It's just
game
it's
winner.
cinema. Honestly, it's
Yeah.
like you couldn't script it
Like,
any
that,
better for that game.
that was such a tough bucket.
Yeah.
Because you have arguably one of the best defensive players in the league on you, both perimeter and post. And you just hit him with a textbook right side step back and just cash it under all that pressure.
Yeah. No, that was incredible. It's I mean, it's I mean, first of all, it's funny to see what the Lakers were like in the press conference after.
Dude, AD's
They
press
were-
conference was so
they
funny.
were not.
So
happy
did you
at
see
all.
AD's thing? So someone asks him, like, I'll just put this here just as like a prop. So they're like, Anthony Davis, explain to me how that last play went down. He's like, Jamal Murray hit a shot.
He just gets up and leaves. It was out of there.
Like, yeah.
Even LeBron's thing too. Like they did the same thing. They both walked out of the press conference. LeBron was like,
yes.
I don't know. It's a tough way to lose.
If I just lost on a game winner, yes, I would be super pissed.
Yeah.
But that is just like a sore loser move by Anthony
Yeah.
Davis. Like, you got to be more professional than that.
well, I
Like,
think
yes,
they knew that. Like,
I'm not like slandering AD, but yes, you're allowed to be mad if you lose a game.
yeah,
But you are a professional athlete who millions of people watch on a nightly basis.
yeah.
You can't be just like getting up and leaving a press conference.
That
Like
reporter didn't make the shot. He just asked the question.
yeah, he's doing his job, man. He's trying to feed his family.
He didn't do the step back jumper.
Yeah, it
It
was
was Jamal
Jamal.
Murray. Come
Yeah,
on.
just hurt him next game.
I do get like where they're coming from though, like where that frustration is coming from, because now they need to win 4 of 6 against the Nuggets. That's
Which-
tough.
Little other fact to this: They've lost 10 in a row
Mhm.
to Denver. Like,
It's tough.
talk about bad.
This is like the boogeyman for the Lakers. They can't get over the Nuggets, and I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be really, really hard for this Lakers team to try and come back. And I feel like we saw that in the press conference too. Even though they're going back to LA, I mean, this is the former MVP, probably the repeat MVP, but just an offensive juggernaut of a team. It's gonna be really hard for the Lakers to get back in this one. Being down 2-0, 1-1, you maybe have a chance. You can trade games back and forth, but now, I think Stephen A. put it pretty good. The Lakers need to win 4 of 6 versus a very, very dominant team. I don't see it happening.
I mean, I would want to win 4 games in a playoff series. I don't know about you, but
They don't have games to spare right now, is what
that's
I
just
mean.
mean though.
Yeah.
So I had a thought, but I lost the thought.
Jamal Murray's a beast.
Yeah, he's really good. You know. Oh,
Jamal
I
Murray's a
got
good
I got
basketball
it. That
player.
reminded me. So I think it was game 1. I don't think Anthony Davis could have played much better than he did.
No, for
But-
sure not.
You still lost. Like at that point, what do you do?
It's hard to bounce
And,
back. I feel like the Lakers played everything
When
perfectly.
did D'Lo play good? Did he play good last night, or did he play good?
I think he played good last night.
Okay, yeah, last night was. I get
That was another thing they complained about in the press conference too, is that D'Lo on that drive just got whacked.
Yeah,
face.
D'Lo went on Twitter after the game too and said
Yeah.
that he got fouled.
Yeah.
But he had like a nice little tough layup that I saw that I thought was not gonna be anywhere near going in, but he cause he threw it up at like a weird angle, but it just like perfectly bounced off the glass.
Yeah.
And so tonight we have Minnesota, Phoenix first game. We have Dallas and the Clippers, and we got
I can check real quick,
Milwaukee,
too.
Indy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so we got Phoenix, Minnesota, Milwaukee, Indy, and then Mavs, Clippers.
I mean, I study so.
In that order. Predictions? honestly?
I'm gonna go Minnesota, Indy, LA.
I was almost the same with you. I'm gonna go Minnesota, Indy, and then I'm gonna go to the Mavs to have a bounce back game. But we got some good
I
action
like it.
tonight.
I like it. And then
Mess with it.
tomorrow night we have both 1-8 games. I'm just gonna take, because you're not gonna
Yep.
see us again until Friday. So
Yeah.
tomorrow night I'm gonna take Boston. I'm gonna take OKC.
Yep. Give me Boston. Give me OKC. I'm the same way too. Yeah, I mean, playoffs are in full. This is the best time of the year. Playoffs are in full swing. We love it. And since we're kind of in the final 10 minutes here, we got another
Dude,
big sporting event.
That was a lot of like talking about the NBA.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you know what? I'm all here for it.
We love the NBA.
Because
That's what we're here
NBA,
for.
that is where I shine.
Yeah.
But on a place that I'm starting to become more informed about is what Will's going to tell you about right now.
Exactly. So we got another huge event coming up this week. Thursday, we have the NFL draft. And I put out what was probably my final mock. It's going to be my final mock because it's on this show. I might make some tweaks when we get closer. But I also texted it to Tyler, too, if you want to take a peek at that. This is my
yes, you did send it to me
final
yesterday.
mock draft going in to Thursday. And, we'll go over some of the picks right here because, it's been very debated about what's going to happen in this draft. And believe it or not, I don't have a trade in the top 10, which people are speculating a lot of right now. I'm saying no trade in the top 10.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything specific about teams.
Yes.
Did you make this before any like trades that were made yesterday?
No, I did not. So, yeah. But honestly, and I know what you're looking at too.
So
I
you
still
know,
think they go this way.
So
You're talking about the Broncos, I assume.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
exactly what I'm
I
going
still
at.
think they do that, truthfully.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, Zach Wilson ain't all.
No,
he ain't
it's
all
not that.
So
So we'll go through a couple of these real quick. I mean, first, Caleb Williams is going first. That's the big one. At number 2, I have the Commanders taking Jaden Daniels, which has been trending this way for a minute now. I could still see it
feel
being
like that
Drake
hurt
May.
you to make that pick.
It did a little bit. It really did. I wanted so bad to find a world in where they go Drake May, and they could, but it just feels more likely that they're going to go Jaden Daniels with that college kind of style of coaching that they have over there. So I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. Number 3, for a while I've had the Patriots going with Marvin Harrison Jr., and I would still love that, but I think the reality is that New England wants a new franchise QB.
You can't draft a receiver if you can't throw to him.
Exactly. So I'm going to go with Drake May. I actually have been buying a little bit more into Drake May.
Really?
With the idea of him sitting for a while, or for like either half a year or the full year. I mess with that, and he seems like he's open to that too. So
Ooh.
I like that.
I was just looking further down. There's a pick that I really like coming up in the top 10.
Yeah. So we've got again. I don't have any trades. I'll spoil it real quick. The first trade that I have is at 12. So at 4, the Cardinals need a receiver. They're gonna go with Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, he's the safest pick in the whole draft, I feel like.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray gets there.
You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and they're gonna get their
Definitely,
Larry Fitzgerald for the next however many years. I'm really high on Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mhm.
I think he's the second best, if not the best player in this draft, maybe side to Caleb Williams.
Do you think because obviously draft hasn't happened, draft's happening Thursday night,
Mhm.
right? I don't know if we're gonna be filming the second episode this week on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Keep you posted on that. But do you think Marvin Harrison can save Kyler's career? I guess because I don't necessarily hate Kyler, but he's obviously not as good as he was 2 years ago.
He's fallen off for
Because
sure.
the injury obviously screwed him.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that tearing your ACL won't mess with you a little bit.
It also
then-
stinks that they're in a really tough division.
And the team also just stopped trying basically.
Yeah.
They bounced around with 5 different quarterbacks. There was the Josh Dobbs era, and he was playing good.
The Pastrana.
Then you trade him.
Yeah, then they traded him. I don't know. I think that this is the best chance that they have to get Kyler back into the groove. Because, again, the safest wide receiver we've had in a while. Probably since, Jamar Chase. And even then, there were questions about Jamar, if he could translate to the next level. This is the safest guy we've had in a while. Give me Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. At number 5, there's been talks about what the Chargers are going to do. Are they going to trade back, get more picks? I feel like they already have enough picks in this draft. I don't really feel like they're going to trade back any further. And I think here they're going to take another great wide receiver who probably would be the first wide receiver in this class if it wasn't for Marvin Harrison Jr. In a lot of drafts, he would probably be the first wide receiver taken off.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Malik Neighbors. They just got rid of Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
Yep.
They need some more flair to this team, and Neighbors brings exactly that.
I think instead of just flair, you need a reason for Justin Herbert to not request a trade.
Yeah,
that as
that too.
goofy as that sounds, that's probably the truth right now.
No, you're spot on. 100% spot on. Moving down more, the Giants need wide receivers as well. I have them going with another great wide receiver. I have them going Rome Odunze. Feels pretty safe. At 7, Joe Alt. The Titans need a tackle.
Joe Alt and if the draft is in any other order, he could be a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Joe
Oh,
Alt.
100%. 100%. Because
If you look
there's
at,
rumors about him maybe going 5 because the Chargers want to run the ball a lot, and that's what Joe Alt's really good at.
Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
And did they just sign J.K. Dobbins too?
They do. Yeah, they have both Ravens running backs from last year.
I feel like we should just say this right away so we acknowledge it. If you guys didn't know, Zach Wilson got traded yesterday to Denver.
Yes.
I think the only way he can make people excited about it is if he wears number 3.
It's true. That's true. Also, I'm going to post this, the full draft. Well, the first round. I only did the first round. I'll put that on Instagram because we're going to fly through a little bit here because a lot of my picks are the exact same from last time around. I still have Dallas Turner going as the first defensive player to Atlanta. I still have Jared Verse going after that to Chicago. Brock Bowers is the same going to the Jets. Then J.J. McCarthy goes to the Vikings, who don't trade up. They hold on, which I think is the right move. Then the first trade that I have is I have the Broncos at number 12. I have them moving back. I have the Bengals coming up who need a tackle, and they go and take Fashanu, which I'm not even going to attempt to say his first name because that is a tough one. But I have him trading up because then I feel like a run of tackles are going to go. After that, we have Tulise Fuagna going to the Raiders, who also need a tackle.
So, here's the thing. I'm willing to bet you said that correctly.
Tulise Fuagna, yeah.
Like,
I've practiced that one. That's what.
How do you say the Bengals guy?
Fashanu, and then I think it's Alumia. I don't know.
Dude, there's a guy named Kool-Aid on here.
Yeah.
I don't really follow college that much, so I didn't know that.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yep, going out of Bama. He's gonna go pretty soon too.
Oh, you got the Pats taking a receiver. I didn't see that.
I do, yeah. So that again, as we get further into it, I do have the trades coming here. So we've got Latua Latu going the edge from UCLA.
Oh, I've heard of that guy.
Yeah, he's gonna go to the Saints. Then I have a corner run. I got Terrion Arnold, and then with the Jalen Ramsey injury, we have another trade coming. I have
He's
Seattle.
still hurt?
Yeah. He's still hurt, and there's questions about if he's even going to still be able to play anymore. So I have the Seattle Seahawks moving back because I think that they can get a lot of value later. I have the Miami Dolphins moving up, taking Quinyon Mitchell, one of the debated best corners in the draft. Brian Robinson then goes next to the Jags. Then, and this is what we talked about, will this happen with the Zach Wilson trade? I think so. The Broncos, after moving back in the draft, still get a player that they really, really like, and Michael Penix Jr. being the fourth quarterback taken, the fifth, excuse me, in the first round.
Don't forget your best buddy, JJ
McCarthy. My bad. I just shouldn't be a first rounder.
Damn. Wow.
I'll say it.
Hey, people said the same thing about Penix. Now, I like Penix personally, but a lot of people said, hey, Penix is not a first round QB. Don't do it.
I don't think Penix is a first round QB either, if I'm going to be honest with you. But it's just that the demand for quarterbacks is so high that I think he goes there. I think that there's a chance that the Broncos don't even trade back and take Penix at 12. I think that's a possibility.
Does this mean you have Mr. Overrated, Bo Nix, going in the second round?
I do.
So I really hate on Bo Nix because my brother likes Oregon, and he thinks Bo Nix is like the future. And Jake, you probably don't listen because you're just a weird 16-year-old, but.
Damn.
He's not good. Ask my draft expert right here next to me. Go to Wilson.
I'm not a Bo Nix fan at all. I mean, the guy's what? He's 26 or something?
Yes.
He's so old, and he's been in college for that entire time. It's not going to work. He's going to need to go to a team that is ready right out the gate looking for a guy, and I think that's only Minnesota. And that's it. And Minnesota's not going to do that.
Can you say Minnesota like a Minnesota person?
Minnesota. Just like
Minnesota.
Minnesota. It's like Canadian.
Yeah, well, they're like right on the.
Yeah, they are.
Like, come on. Now.
They're there.
Come on.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, well, I applaud you for these amazing picks. I would never be able to make a mock draft on my own because
it's my favorite to do.
I can barely do like fantasy football mock drafts.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I get the idea of doing it. Obviously, like you want to see, what can I get on my pick? But like, in the day. You're not doing a mock draft with your friends.
Yeah.
You're not doing a mock draft with people in your league. You're doing it either against the computer or just random people.
Yeah. No, I enjoy doing mock drafts because I do, historically, I have gotten a lot of them right. And I'm hoping to keep that streak.
You should start betting on it.
Yeah.
Hey! Gamble responsibly.
21
plus.
I think last year my biggest thing was that Will Levis was going to fall. And I didn't think he was going to fall that far, but I had Anthony Richardson getting taken over him, and that worked out pretty well. So I'm hoping that we keep the streak going.
If I were Will Levis, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah,
I think he's in a really good situation.
I think he went to a good spot. We'll talk about the rest of the trades here because we are running out of time. At 21, I have the Seahawks who've traded back. I have them going Jackson Powers Johnson, who is a center. Believe it or not. So center goes in the first round. The Seahawks need interior offensive line.
I was confused why it said OC. Because I thought in football it was just C for center.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well.
Offensive center. I think that's just this website too. Is what does it. And then the last trade I have too, which you were hyped up about, I have the Patriots trading with the Lions back up into the first round and taking Mad McConkley out of Georgia. They are going to get a great lad out there. And again, this is a move that I really think could happen, especially with the work that the Patriots have done with wide receivers. They visited pretty much all of them. I feel like Lad could be a guy they trade up and go get. And the rest of the mock draft is going to be on Instagram by the time this comes out too. So if you want to go take a look at it.
You would consider yourself a draft expert, right?
Or
not a draft expert, like a college expert and all that. Like,
sure, I'd consider myself maybe a draft enthusiast.
How do you say this offensive lineman's name you've gone to Dallas?
Let me.
I know his first name. Troy
Fautanu, I believe.
Fautanu, okay.
Fautanu, I believe.
Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
Chop Robinson, dude. These names are awesome.
Right? No, there's some cool ones. Kool-Aid McKinstry to the Packers, by the way. I think that's a done deal.
I think Kool-Aid is just an awesome. It's a cool name.
It is a cool name. I do this once a year too, where I give my safest pick that I don't think is in the top 10.
The lock. Not in the top 10. Okay.
Yeah. Well. This is no matter what, I feel like this team is gonna go and get this player. I think we called ETN back in 2020. We're like the Jags ETN. That looks good.
Shout out Brady Boney, by the way. Brady Boney's a big Travis Etienne guy. Brady's coming to do town meeting tonight with me. Hopefully we can get him on the show soon. I've asked
We'd
him.
love to have him
I've
on.
asked Brady like
we get
10
another
times.
intern on the part-time
I've asked
pod.
him like 10 times to come on. He's
Yeah.
always working at Hat which respect.
Respect.
Go get the money, buddy.
I'm
but
actually gonna pick
Get on the
2 this time. I
Ooh.
like a lot of my picks. The
Double
first
down.
one, Brian Robinson at 17 to the Jags. That feels like a done deal. I'm so confident that the Jags are gonna go and
Here's
get
the thing.
Brian Robinson.
I think Brian
Or
Robinson.
Brian Thomas,
I was gonna
excuse
say, I
me.
think Brian Robinson plays for the Commanders. as well.
yeah, Brian Thomas. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that. My second lock. Ooh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go.
Well, you just said one.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins, cornerback from Clemson,
All right,
to the Steelers. I feel like that is a done deal.
clip it. And
Clip it.
if he's right, you'll see it on Instagram. If he's wrong, you'll see it on
You'll see
Instagram.
either way. Those are my locks. Give me
So-
Brian Thomas to the Jags, Nate Wiggins to the Steelers, and we are so out of time.
So I just want to say a couple things real quick. So it's been really busy lately. That's why we said we were gonna start posting on Instagram. We just literally haven't had any time
Yeah,
to do it.
it's been
Like
tough.
Will's busy doing stuff that he does. I'm busy interning, finishing high school.
Mhm.
But tomorrow, I have a half day. So Will, if you're down, no pressure. You're just doing
Yeah.
this on the show as I'm asking you this. Do you want to come in and do some clips for the Instagram people tomorrow?
I would love to. I would love to get some clips out there.
Let's
'Cause
shake on it.
We're gonna be on TikTok very soon.
Yes.
Very, very
And we
soon.
are going to have our own page.
Mhm.
And brands hit us up for sponsorships. It's not going to happen. Well,
But if you
not
want
yet.
to.
It's not going to happen yet. But,
Dude, imagine me doing like a Manscaped ad read.
I would. What if we? No, actually, no. We wouldn't be able to do it because I'm not old enough. Like Underdog Fantasy. Or something.
Oh, yeah,
They're,
yeah.
They're handing out the money.
I'll do it.
And I'll just get some cash. And
Yeah. If that's legal, I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows? But anyway,
But
thank
hey.
you for joining us on the part-time pod. It's been a pleasure as always, Tyler.
We're just a couple kids from the South Shore.
Just making a pod.
Just making a pod, talking about things we like.
It's a great day to have a great day as always.
Yes.
And we will see you guys in the next one.
McGregor over Chandler. Bye.